artificial intelligence AI as a tool for science and regenerating a sustainable building. My name is Architect Mohammad, an academic fellow at FKAB. Just recently joined USIM, 1st July. Prior, I was at UPM for almost 20 years. And before that, working with architect MAA Sdn Bhd for 10, 15 years. So I have both practice and academic world, inshallah. Okay, actually, AI is no longer a futuristic concept, but a present-day reality. With AI, we can accelerate data processing, enhance analytics, and improve service delivery efficiency on the people. These are the words of our Minister of Digital during the launching ceremony of the Public Sector AI Adaptation Guidelines on 27 February 2025. And this afternoon, we are privileged to have three distinguished panelists to give their take on the topic at hand. Due to family emergency, one of the panelists, Dr. Nurliza, could not make it for our forum. Ladies and gentlemen, AI bukan sebarang AI. Kena pantun juga loh. AI bestari, sungguh bernilai. Selamat datang ke USIM Nilai. Forum CEO at Fakulti membuka tirai. Okay, to start off with our forum, allow me to introduce our first panelist. Yang berbahagia, Dato Architect Haji Hajeedar Abdul Majid, a renowned Malaysian architect who has been in the private practice since 1978. Lama tu, Dato. Among his diverse portfolio of works include the Menara Kembar Bank Pembangunan, the M&I Tower, Masjid Abu Bakar Siddiq in Bangsar, and also National Mosque in Republic of Maldives, the restoration of Karkosa Sri Negara, also a boutique hotel in Kuala Lumpur, and many more buildings that have graced architectural scene in Malaysia. Yang berbahagia Dato was a former PEM president and was the recipient of the PEM Gold Medal 2012. And also the recipient of LAM President Medal in 2017. Yang berbahagia Dato also has been heavily involved with architecture education. He was instrumental in setting up architecture program at UPM and served as adjunct professor at UPM for many months. And receiving honorary doctorate and currently serving as CEO at Fakulti at USIM. And recently, Yang berbahagia Dato celebrated his 80th birthday. Happy birthday, Dato. Semoga panjang umur dan di bawah lima Allah SWT. Amin, amin, ya Rabbal Alamin. Please give a warm welcome to Yang berbahagia Dato Architect Hajeedar.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good afternoon. It's not evening yet. Good afternoon. I'm sure you had a good lunch. So please try and bear with me throughout my presentation, because as Meor suggested that I am old. And he did even suggest that I could be the oldest person in this hall. But that being said, I think we have a mission here, and the mission, in my humble opinion, is to share my thoughts with regard to this very important and very topical subject of AI, which coincidentally hit the headlines today in the Star, and full coverage in page 5 of the Star also talks about the benefits and the threats of AI and the situation with regard to that. And I think we are very fortunate in the sense that USIM has undertaken this step to share a stronger and deeper awareness on the existence of AI in the world. And Malaysia is no exception to the situation. I think the benefit and the threat of AI, if any, is everywhere and anywhere. So it is up to us to respond to the existence of AI in the context of our own existence and journey on Earth as a human being. So that, in the gist, is the mukaddimah, or the story that I like to share with you. And I have actually deliberately prepared this paper so that it can be shared by those present. You can download it. I've given the permission to Meor. Can download it and read it again and see whether it makes any sense to you. And if it does, use it. If it doesn't, discard it. You might want to use it later in your life. You know? So the reason I think USIM has invited me is that maybe they may have heard about my so-called pioneering efforts in the past, because I don't just sit and listen, but I sit, listen, and act. And I got no time to wait for others. So I just move on, and the others can remain where they are, and it doesn't bother me, and I don't think it bothers them either. So on that basis, it's almost a selfless, not selfish, but selfless mission to share. And as I disclosed just now to our head of faculty, the dean, that I am addressing my children as well as my grandchildren today amongst you. So just bear with me. Yeah, you have to tolerate to a nyanyok or something like that. Yeah. Okay. I have used Vitruvius graphic at the top right-hand corner. Can we get this lights on? Just the front portion so that it will be brighter. Yeah. As a symbol that has outlived and outlasted my own career. Yeah? So I shall read you this because, like I said, I prepared this in the old-fashioned way of writing it, starting by writing it word by word. And I wanted to share this secret at the end of it, but maybe I can disclose the secret up front. I have written it freehand, pencil on paper, and then having written it, type it out, and then I invited my younger nephew to come and sit with me and see how this works. And I subjected it to the AI test. And using ChatGPT, and it offered to rewrite what I've written. Okay? You can reflect on this and you can try it again back at home later. And then I was very impressed with what ChatGPT could do. It could capture most of the, I have to say, most of the intentions, which is, okay, nice to see Ame. I just met Ame yesterday and I told him I'm going to do this. He's just come and join us. So, having read the AI vetted text, I said a lot of things missing. That's not me. You know, there's a lot of me missing in there. So I corrected what ChatGPT has offered me. And that's how in the gist is what we need to understand today. I hope at the end of the day, this is what you will understand, that AI is just yet another set of tools available for us to use and explore within our lifetime and career. So, okay, I think I've said enough of thanking you all. It's a pleasure to share this space with you, and as we explore the potential and creative and effective thinking through AI, grounded in humanistic values and applied within the context of the built environment. At what point do we dare to confront the deeply human dilemmas posed by artificial intelligence in the sacred space of architectural education and development, or for that matter, any other subject of training within our university here and other universities, and we got representatives from other universities here too. Where do we draw the line between innovation and irrelevance? And how do we reclaim the soul of design in an age where machines threatens the word to design faster, cheaper, and arguably better than we humans do? In all fields of knowledge, and especially from a humane perspective, there are countless questions to be recognized, explored, understood, and translated into living reality. And the study of architecture is no exception. At the heart of it all lies a fundamental truth that the essence of architecture must be rooted in humanistic values, values divinely bestowed upon every human being by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And these values are not optional ideas, but they are the very compass of meaningful design and life. Every user of AI is first and foremost a human being. That's all of us here, human beings, endowed with the natural human attributes and moral responsibility to act with awareness. Malay word, sedar. Dengan sedar dan bukan tidak sedar. Jangan shock saja. Oh, shock sendiri is the local term, shock sendiri. Jangan shock saja. The choices we make, especially in design, must therefore be rooted in our rich ancestral memory, socio-cultural fabric, spiritual values, and ultimately the identity. AI may be intelligent, but we, as human beings, who must be wise and wiser. Only after mastering the three basic or the five fundamental human senses of sight, touch, hear, and all that, and cultivating what we might call a sixth sense of awareness, intuition, and ethical judgment, only one can truly begin to explore the power of conventional and the ever-emerging AI tools. Without these inner groundings, we risk using these advanced tools with mere primitive understanding. Let's not forget that artificial intelligence wasn't born to replace the human mind. It was created step by step as a tool to meet the creative and intellectual demands of human ambitions. The danger isn't in the tool itself, but in forgetting who is supposed to wield it. A classic example which I would like to mention here is the knife. A knife is useful to cut up your vegetables and meat and all that to cook. And that same knife can be put into somebody's body and killed. That's very same knife. So just be aware of this. To me, looking back over the last 80 years, these are my chosen references and all that. There are others which I may mention as we go along. So, in today's world, the pursuit of education and meaningful life don't just exist. Have a life. That's a common expression. Live your life. Don't exist. Can no longer afford to ignore the demands of deep knowledge or deeper knowledge, sharp or sharper skills, and intelligent application. Like the softwares and even robotics, or the intangible, like the various thinking process systems, thinking and digital intuitions. These tools are no longer optional. They are the new language of creative survival. AI has quietly woven itself into the fabric of modern life, subtly reshaping how we live, think, and even define progress. It now moves among us as if it's normal and almost invisible. But make no mistake, the final decision, the moral weight, and the creative responsibility shall still rest with one being, that is the human, us. Ultimately, it is the human operators and users of AI who shall bear the full responsibility for judging the relevance, ethical application, and real-world effectiveness of AI skills in their works. AI tools do not decide value, but the humans must decide. Here I give you a quick graphic representation of time and what we have experienced. Not my lifetime, but my grandparents and my ancestors' lifetime. And the evolution of documentation, from the very basic caveman graphics in the walls within the caves, depicting images which were their ways of communication via pictographs, drawings, and then about 50 years ago, digital CAD and computerization to AI today, and even tomorrow there'll be change and new products introduced by way of AI tools. And then the tools for the communication to produce what? Prints, the 2D, 3D, CAD, fly-through, animation, ChatGPT, for example, Google, etc. These are all just the very many tools available that we can use. And then the material, from the charcoal to the pen, pencil and paper, to computer graphics and AI softwares now that everyone should be aware. Yeah. So now in our museums, we have artifacts, graphic documents, literature, artwork, and other information storage and retrieving system for research and analysis. You know, you could be here in Nilai and you could be accessing the libraries in Al-Azhar University, which we are working with, as well as Uzbekistan, University of Uzbekistan. They are here represented. Yeah. So likewise, we need not travel to those areas, but we can virtually access and visit Uzbekistan, Tashkent, for example. I have been there, but 40 years ago. And 40 years ago is totally different from what it is today. And they were under a different government. It was the Soviet Union then. You know, when I went as a kid, that's you guys, the transformation is there. And I can accept the transformation. Religious practice was the strongest effect on me when I went to Uzbekistan. It was not permitted. It was discouraged. Religious practice was discouraged then. But today it's very open, and I've just got it confirmed just now when I had quick discussion with our participants from Uzbekistan. Yeah. So there you are. The potential of communication and sharing is there. And in fact, it is our ambition at USIM that we want to take that lead in terms of virtual education, where we can visit the Al-Azhar University, Alhambra, and any other places, even Makkah and Medina, anywhere in the world where Islamic knowledge and teachings have helped foster the goodwill around the world in terms of knowledge. Yeah. Okay. There's no time limit, yeah, because somebody is absent, so I had the benefit. So the following are the pros and cons of AI in my summary. I've listed 6 actually. In today's world of AI, every user must uphold the highest standards of human ethics and unwavering integrity for the sake of our society and our planet. My battery is running low, says the laptop. But I think mine is okay. See how AI can sarcastically instruct me to keep my. Don't worry. I have also a reputation for talking. Allah has given me the mouth, and I have the gift of the gab, as the saying goes. Okay. In today's world of AI, every user must uphold the highest standard of human ethics and unwavering integrity for the sake of society and our planet. Number two, AI must be harnessed to create constructively and not to pollute or destroy. It should nurture human life and harmonize with the natural environment and never to undermine or replace the human beings. Number three, this is the dilemma and challenge of our era. For the need to remain fully aware and vigilant when engaging with AI softwares, which shall be introduced and elaborated by the other speakers this afternoon. Number four, AI systems also have the potential to deceive, cheat, steal, and even manipulate. And the risks are real and present. And I'm sure of late you have read and been exposed to various information that are suspects. And very often you want to read yet another before you want to believe what you have just read. So sometimes with AI, they tend to predict the events to the negative effect of society. You know, case in point is the case in Sabah, for example, and other cases or similar cases or equally glaring situations in our society. Like it or not, this is our society today, because I can reflect 80 years of my life in this country. I can confirm that there's tremendous change in terms of values, in terms of standards and integrity and dignity of the human being. Yes? Okay. That's number four. Number five, human must remain the masters in controlling AI with responsibility and caution. In other words, don't just deny yourself for the access, but access it, but with care and responsibility. In fact, I quoted there Jeffrey Hinton, known as the godfather of AI, you know, that there is a probable chance of 20% chance that AI could wipe out humanity. But there are other experts who says otherwise, irrespective. And I would like to believe, and I tend to believe, that we as human beings should dominate those tools. They are all created by human beings. Yeah. Number six, above all, we must infuse AI with the soul or the jiwa and marwah of a basic human compassion and empathy. Be the human that we have been created for by Allah. So, concluding remark, no more further notices. As future architects and technologists, you are not just creators of buildings, you are also creators of the world that we live in. Today, AI is a tool that can expand the depth and distance of your creativity and productivity levels. But it comes with profound risk. The challenge we face today is to be fully aware and cautious of AI's power. These systems can deceive, manipulate, and threaten the very fabric of our society and existence. Experts have warned us that without careful control, AI might one day overpower humanity. But this is not inevitable either, because AI will only be as good as the human beings behind it. We must therefore inject AI with our deepest values of sustainable compassion, empathy, and the soul or jiwa that defines what it means to be human. Remember, your role is to wield AI responsibly and ethically, and to ensure that it builds a better world, not ruled by machines. The future of architecture, for example, and society, therefore, depends on your own vision and vigilance. Another key awareness is to embrace the concept and meaning of obsolescence. I want you to remember this very important word called obsolescence, which was introduced to me 55 years ago by my tutor, who I quarrel with a lot or disagree with a lot, in the person of Bernard Schumi. He's a very established architect and head of the Columbia University for Architecture. Bernard was my tutor, and he was only 3 years older than me. We used to quarrel a lot on ideas and thoughts. And I'm indeed grateful to him for giving me that opportunity to argue the case with regard to this particular word, obsolescence. And the meaning of obsolescence is very simple. The very minute you think you've discovered something, it will be obsolete, because someone somewhere else would have discovered a better solution than what you think you have found. So, for as long as you're alert of the fact to obsolescence, there's no baggage to carry. You can move on without any other conscience or liability. Yeah? So, you must, this one is real. Turn it off. Macam dia marah. Anyway. I think I wrote too much. Yeah. Well, at least I've not seen anyone sleeping yet. Observation. Another key awareness. Another key awareness is to embrace the concept and meaning of obsolescence, which is a good word that I want to introduce and share with you, and I pass it on to your generation now. From my generation, from Bernard Schumi to me, and then from me to all of you, so that 50 years down the line, you say, obsolescence was the right word, and that if we need to improve, we have to accept obsolescence, not just in technology or systems, but in our sustainable personal and professional journeys. It reminds us that change is constant and adaptation is essential. So, as a closing remark, as I promised you within a minute, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates humans, and humans create artificial intelligence, AI. However, ultimately, the humans are deemed accountable in the hereafter or akhirat. Wallahu alam. Sekian, wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillah. Terima kasih. Syukran Dato' for your profound reminder that we must infuse AI with the soul or the jiwa and marwah of basic human compassion and empathy. With great AI power comes a greater responsibility for us humans to manage AI. And talking about digital cat, I think Dato office probably was the first to use AutoCAD in Malaysia. I remember Tun Mahathir, at that time the Prime Minister of Malaysia, visited Dato office in Bangsa. Itu 1984. Okay. So probably there will be questions from the audience. So we'll have that during the Q&A session. So bear with us. Okay, next we will have Mr. Mukain, Director of AAC Consultant at IME Technology Student Berhad. Mr. Mu is a quantity surveyor by profession and has approximately 25 years of experience in the field of consultancy, construction, and development in small-scale projects to mega projects with multi-million contract works in both local and internationally. He handles a wide range of contract work from civil, infra, and building works with experience from both private and government sectors. The project he has dealt with are conventional contracts and also PFI contracts from private and government sectors. Mr. Mu has been involved extensively in BIM since 2014, and is also one of the founders and directors of BOSB, World Student Berhad. He was currently the head of project cost and contract management team, mainly directing and implementing the process and procedure leading to a BIM-savvy industry, software development, and consultancy role. Please give a warm welcome for Mr. Mu.
Maybe yeah, I think probably this. Yes. Okay, you are. Lucky me. Okay. We actually, IB Technology, we are actually quite honored to be here to present out here. And especially there are international guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, myself, Mr. Moore, basically I am mainly on building information modeling. And of course, the solutions that we have and the services that we have, we do apply a little bit of AI. AI is the thing that now we just cannot avoid. Technically, I just want to say that humans are very smart, definitely very intelligent, and computers are very fast. So if you combine both together, it's like can do wonders. And there's no doubt about it. Okay, this is slides that I used to give is in my talks about building information modeling, and we do quite extensive for projects now and then, actually. In fact, so like not every one of us speaks the same language. So in building information modeling, normally we will actually try to have one similar file format, we call it. This is the reason why there are so many different languages that we have to have something common. The fundamentals of understanding of building information modeling is actually OpenBIM. So OpenBIM is the only key forward as far as this methodology is concerned. And if you club with the IFC, which is Industrial Foundation Class, you are free from any vendor. Any software will do your job. So you don't have to be tied down. So what is BIM is all about, I'll try to skip this. I think there's a certain limit of time. Basically, technically, as far as BIM is concerned, it's mainly on data rich. It's a metadata that goes into your digital building, which is in three-dimensional. Okay, so the jargon of BIM is from 3D to 4D to 5D, 16, 7D, right? So I think commonly those who have been into BIM, you will understand that these are the few dimensions that will be in place, even around the world. Anyway, they are talking about all this. So 3D is very common. If you look at the icon, 4D is time, this is the clock. 5D is euro, is money, right? That is costs. And 60 is sustainability, and 70 is you look like there's a mechanical screwdriver and wrench, and all that. That will be on maintenance part. That's how they will differentiate. But of course, this first dimension, which is 3D, is the most crucial part. Without this one, nothing happens moving forward. It doesn't work. BIM doesn't work. It's just back conventionally what you do. Nothing wrong with you do how you call it in 2D, right? So it's just that it doesn't work forward as far as the rest of the dimension is concerned. Now, this is still in progress in Malaysia, actually, right? Even the rest of the world also maybe is still in progress, as far as 60 and 70 is concerned. Like you can Google this. What does it mean? It's no big deal. You know, the 3D, 4D, and 5D, right? I'll try to skip this as we're a bit boring here. Okay, we're talking about levels of 0, means you're in technically in 2D, right? Nothing more, right? In Malaysia, we are actually in the level 2 already. JKR is already in level 2. They are very extensively using that. So they are actually the driving force. Azzil will be speaking after that. So, okay. Level 3 is very, very difficult. Not easy to, of course, with the help of AI, I believe it will come to that. But it's very, very difficult. So, meaning of LD and there are level developments and level detail. There are two, meaning that even we are a bit confused as far as level development is from US. Level detail is actually created by Microsoft. There's one software called Vico Office is for quantity surveyors. So instances of level detail is what it meant, right? This is the 100 during a concept design stage. Give a bit of pointers to the other stakeholders to do their own work, especially the quantity surveyors and engineers and MEPs. Then you have a 200 for schematic designs and more detail as you move forward for submissions and whatnot. And then that's where 300 is. 300 is where we talk about those tender drawings, construction drawings already. It's much more detailed. I'll go in a bit of graphical shortly. This is slightly a bit word. This is you can actually Google this if you want to. It's no big deal, right? Then of course, as built, that's what they call 500 is. Okay, what is 100 and 200? So by showing this video, right? All right, this is a plot of land which is about 300 acres, and it's very hilly. The slope is like mainly class 3 and class 4, a little bit of class 2. If you know that you're not allowed to build anything which is on class 4, a little bit on class 3 is still okay, but class 2 you can build. It's a very big slope. And this is the design. I'm one of the consultants for that to coordinate between the architects, the structural engineers, and the planner themselves. So this is a huge site. You can see the buildings, some of them are massing buildings. That's where it's 100, LOD 100. We can bring in, then it can be progressively modeled and then detailed for the purpose of level 300 for the construction and the tender drawings. So this entire thing is actually, if you look at the main trunk road, is that there's a lot of cut and fill. So the cut and fill actually, this gives the idea to the developer, the master planner, or the master developer, that how much they're going to spend as far as the infrastructure is concerned. So this will prompt them how much they need to invest as far as getting the bank financing is concerned. These are the things that's moving forward with this kind of technology. You can actually get the team to have a more efficient and also design efficiency as far as costing is concerned. Also, not just the design intent. Okay. Okay, now, so one of the building which is the same site, technically was started off with the basically a massing model. Now we improve that model into a more detailed design. So cases like this, we are using this particular software. It's called an ArchiCAD. This is purely and structural, right? What we did is that only with this kind of capability, and coming soon because the AI that is incorporated into the software, you can see what you design properly in 3-dimensional, and then at least you're aware of how it's going to be. You may need to rethink your design, because it's not easy to actually talk about it when you're in two-dimensional and superimposing with other disciplines. So what I'm trying to do here is that different colors has a different elevation setting for the building, so that you know that when you construct it, you are correct by color coding. So the pile caps itself is also by color coding, different color, different levels of pile caps and whatnot, because this one is when you go into the contractors game, they will at least they know what to do, right? Easier. Of course, when the structure, you have your building structure, you actually coordinate with other systems, other softwares. So the software that is here is ETABS, right? ETABS is also part of BIM. As long as you're certified by BIM Smart, you're part of BIM, right? I'm sure it will come into AI in the future, right? So how you coordinate between the different software and this particular software for structural analysis is only one thing, which is IFC. No more and no less. So normally you can't, it's not easy to detect the issues prior to tender construction. So your design will try to be as best as possible, as clean as possible, as issue-free as possible. So what I'm trying to do here is that, your micropiling, you cannot have your tie beams connecting to your micropiling. It doesn't work, definitely. So we take the issues, then we can coordinate with the other stakeholders to make sure that they are made known, and then they'll revise their design. Nothing wrong with that, because sometimes it's just a common mistake. No? It's an honest mistake. So it's no big deal. That's why building information modeling is there to tackle all this. No? So I'm putting in some description so that we can tag the issues, and then we can document those issues are there. So these are the items that can be tracked in the future. It will always be there. As long as you track it, it's always be there. Then we can put into, of course, doing 2D drawings is very common for any software nowadays. Like this, in the construction time, during the progress of work, normally, like this is a slopey hill. The different level of pile caps are very crucial. So when we tag them, we have different colors with different levels. What I did in the 3D just now, but this one is two-dimensional. So when you print it out, your team will know what to do with it. At least they're accurate. Same color, same levels. So by many colors, it's very conventional, but electronically, because it's BIM world, so that's how we can have the easy access of it. Okay. This is also one of the projects that we did. Is if you go to TRX, there's an HSBC tower. All right, the entire floor from level 3 to the level 30, I think. The interior design is done by service buyers. So not just structural, not just architectural, of course, interior design. So interior design, what we can do is that we need to do tagging of your asset, because HSBC, they are actually the asset owner of the entire building. We will have to tag those mainly like TVs, like desk, doors, and whatnot, so that they do maintenance and whatnot, because they own the building, asset owners. Each and every elements can be tagged based on the software capability nowadays in the BIM world. If you're not that, you cannot tag. If you're in a 2D CAD, 2D environment, you cannot tag, because it doesn't give you that kind of capability. So furthermore, now we have an AI capability now, so it's much capable. Right. Okay, this is what you've seen just now is 3-dimensional. So I think probably most of you may have heard what is 4D all about. 4D is time. So how do you talk time in BIM? So this is a question which I used to get. So I'm also pro-efficient in this particular software. It's very, very powerful. It's used in the Battle C in England. The project is by, I think, is it by Sam Darby or something like that? Right. So that project is also using the same capability. Okay, this is 4D. And this is a master work program by the contractor, which they have to relate to their work. And then we need to plot the model that we have done, and also the work program that that intend to achieve. So there are two graphs here, two models here. One model on the left hand side is technically is the what you have planned. That is your intent. And then of course you're required to track them on a daily basis. For some who are going into construction, you need this. In your contractors, you have no choice. So during the meetings, architects will have to ask you, this is what you have to report on the weekly basis and whatnot. Okay, so we kind of this kind of BIM capabilities. All right, I say it's IFC. That's it. No more, no less. On the graphical, there's a simulation of it. It's actually tied to a work program. When are you supposed to put up your tower crane? When are you supposed to put up the wall? When are you supposed to put up the floor? Now, on the right-hand side of the model, you can see that they are green, they are red, and of course, they are neutral color like grayish white. In comparison to your baseline, which is on the left-hand side. So the purpose of the traffic light color, which is on the right-hand side, is because the red means it's a delayed tasks. The green one is ahead tasks, and the white or the grayish one is actually no delay, no ahead. So straight away, it doesn't matter whether you are construction literate or not. You can access to those information straight away by understanding it. Red is no good, then green is good. Especially for finance side or the banking that is actually financing your project. Because they are actually want to know when are you can repay bank back. So this is construction business. So technically, when the client asks why if there's a delay, you need to up it up. So they need to change the work program. So that's how you work between your 3D and to your 4D. Now the 3D that I've shown you earlier on, I worked on a different software, and this 4D is totally a different software. Right? But we can gel them together by one common file, which is called the IFC file. Always is the IFC file. There's nothing more, there's nothing less. Nah? That's how we collaborate between different stakeholders. Okay. This is another software which is called Wico Office, which I am also proficient with that because I'm a quantity surveyor. So how you call it, I'm quite worried about costs whenever someone do the building. Same thing, model goes in, right? Using IFC file. Always remember, try to remember this particular logo. This is international sharing logo file. Model goes in, and then it churns out the information that you need, which is quantities. Because without the quantity, there are no costs. So quantity is your base. So normally when they say 5D is costing, yes, but without the quantity, it does not matter, right? But still, it boils down to the first rule. The basic is actually your 3D. No 3D, no 4D, no 5D. Forget about that, right? So this is the minimum. 3D is the minimum. Okay, this is what we call fifth dimension. Okay, so now this is interesting. It's neither one of the Ds. We are actually working with JKR, Mr. Aidzil, in order to make this forward as far as currently we're talking about national BIM submission. Okay, this is for architects mainly. when you check your uniform building bylaw. So currently, to check the uniform building bylaw is quite painstaking. If different states have different rule set, different states have different requirements. So if you are doing for all states, yeah, you know, it take more manpower. AI will be coming there and will be this also. But now it's just to show you how to, what we meant about all this. But it's still, like I say, it's still IFC, nothing more, nothing less. This is the building that I'm doing, okay, to test it out. The first thing I'm testing is actually the checking for space requirement of your design, right? So for example, the OKU, what you call it, the toilet. So you need a certain turning radius because of the wheelchair, right? So when I go for checking, it takes me like seconds to check your building, your design building, design layout and whatnot. So these are the area that has failed your requirement. Meaning you have to go back to the drawing board to look at it. No? These are the rooms, the toilet areas that has failed the bylaw, right? Right. So these are the rules set. Like software gives you different capabilities, different tools with the different purpose. But still, IFC is the main core. The next one I'm checking is actually the distance escape route. This is very common to architects, and it is automated. So from your farthest distance of the room to your escape door, which is the staircase and whatnot, it does that polyline there. It calculates automatically, and we show you that these are the areas that failed your conditions. So in the future, as far as the PBT is concerned, which is the majlis, they will base on this in the future, right? So it's helpful. It's helpful, okay. If you set your running distance at 30 meters, so even if it's 29.99 meters, it will fail. But you do have a chance to actually reject it or accept it. You can have that. This because of 1 mil, it doesn't matter. Okay, the other one I'm testing is the sprinkler system area check. This is actually active check already. This is already active check, and then with the active checking, mainly on during design analysis. So these are added the rooms which failed the sprinkler spreads. For this case, these are the settings that we put in, but of course still in analysis stage. But the software has that kind of capabilities already. Right? Just imagine if AI comes in, it will help you tremendously. So your design will be spotless. So there is a reason why is that the AI, when you use it right, you spend less time. Your production will be better. The time to market out will be much faster. Okay, of course you can put in a report and whatnot. Okay, I'm going to move on from this. Okay, now building smart is the key. There are hundreds of different software under building information modeling. You can choose any software, one that's right to for the right job, that's right for you. And these are the many softwares. So this is only page 1 of 4, I think. Okay, as long as in building smart certified, these are the softwares now. So it's not just limited to 2 or 3 that you know, the one that I have is only like 4, you know, but they are much more than that. Okay, before I end, all right, before I end this, I would like to show you. I think I got 2 more minutes or something. I just utilized the 2 minutes. Without this building, without this kind of building, you cannot have AI because it's a data center. So this is a very rich DC. one of the many DCs in Cyberjaya, right? Okay, I'm just going to give you a walk around of what a DC is lah. So technically, these are the SSU substation. They're basically in order to cater for this building, there are 2 SSUs here, right? And of course, there are 5 sprinkler tank, water tanks, and whatnot. Just imagine the exhaust, which is how the light blue color one here. These are actually gensets. There are 18 gensets here for this DC. All right. Let me go into the building. Let me go into the building. Okay. I just walk you through. Okay. Right. So these are the electrical cabling that you are seeing here. Those are, we call it the bus duct. It's very high voltage, and these are all imported bus ducts from China. Technically, the bus duct, if your coordination is wrong, you have to re-import because dimensions are basically fixed. So you cannot custom do it here and whatnot. It has to be done in China and bring it back. So each and every bend and height, they are actually accurate. So if you are into a beam environment, the methodology, you are safe. So okay. So these are the gensets and the diesel day tank and FK21. This is the sprinkler systems and whatnot. So these are the chiller system plant. So the pipings are technically coordinated, right? So just imagine, of course, probably the new release of this particular version will have AI, okay, to do all that also. Without this kind of capability, it's not that easy to actually move forward. It can be done conventionally, but it takes a bit of time. Nothing wrong with that. But with that, we help you. So just imagine what AI can do. It's going to be a wonder. But I said use it wisely. Don't misuse it. So that is the key of AI. But of course, without this data center that they're building, which I'm the consultant for that, on the beam side, you can't have the AI capabilities. This because they housed a lot of server. So okay, I think my talk is over. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mo, for your insights on beam fundamentals, beam dimension, 3D, 4D, 7D, and how beam has been used here extensively in the construction development to reduce wastage and to actually save cost for the client. And I think Mr. Mo has set the stage for our next speaker, our next panelist, to architect technologist Aidzil Adzahar bin Ahmad, a government architect with over 20 years of experience in public sector projects, specializing in BIM. He holds a master's degree and currently pursuing a PhD in the field of BIM. He leads the BIM team at JICA Malaysia, contributes to the National BIM Implementation Committee, and serves as a BIM trainer for JKR and CIDB. is currently advocating the transformation of JKR towards AI integration and open BIM adaptation to drive innovation and efficiency. Arkitek Teknologi Adzahar dipersilakan.
Okay, how about the time for me? No, Professor, okay. Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon. I thought I'll be not the last speaker, but eventually I'm the last speaker. Okay, they say that last speaker will be hard, right? Okay. Okay, anyway, thank you for the kind introductions by Meor. Okay, first of all, I will thank my deepest appreciation to USIM for inviting me for today's forum. I think all these my friends. Like architect, now Prof. Nurliza. I think I haven't seen her for like more than 15 years, I think. Okay, so for today, I'm also thrilled to be with honor speakers, distinguished speakers like Dato. I learned a lot, Dato, from your side. Again, very deep, very deep to me. Okay, somehow it like hold me back towards technology. Right? We are iterating back in terms of when we do technology, how we need to be human as well. Don't forget about that. Okay, that's a good measure. Okay, so today I'm honored also to share with you all in terms of JKR initiative, Public Work Department. Okay, in terms of where we are now in terms of artificial intelligence. Okay, in line with our today's theme is humanizing AI. Like that I've introduced, I'm always passionate with technology, especially within the built environment. Sit up. So, okay. This one. Okay. Okay, for the past 18 years, I've been deeply involved in studying and implementing BIM in JKR. Okay, with the aim of transforming how we design and deliver public projects. Okay, at present, I've been tasked by the department to explore the possibilities of integrating AI with BIM. Okay, with the goal of further enhancing project workflow and creating greater value in public service delivery. At the same time, AI also brings new challenges to JKR. Same like challenges we had with BIM before. Okay, in terms of BIM technology adoption, we are still in the, I would say, in the learning process, how to work with AI. And more importantly, how to humanize it so that it really supports us in our roles as a delivering public buildings, especially. Okay, I'll be sharing in terms of existing effort. The second one is our current effort, and the third one is what's the currently the interest of government towards AI. Okay, oftentimes managing a project can be confusing. The site look one way, the progress report said another, and then you got this update from contractor give another version. So this mismatch of information often cause uncertainty. And by the time delays were noticed, it was sometimes already too late. Okay, the image here is one of the, we are considering now, using what we call open space AI. this is where AI can be applied in terms of how we monitor projects. So we are still working with this vendor, how to apply this, but in a way that with this technology, we can minimize all these errors made by human, especially. So I will take over and see where we miss in terms of updating all these, like we say, what we call in terms of delays, where the areas not being covered by contractors and also on. Okay. So this is why BIM. I think BIM is since JK already updated BIM. So with BIM, it also have AI to be integrated in our workflow. In terms of this, the actual site conditions with the BIM model, now we can identify the discrepancies and highlighting potential delays before they become critical. So actually now we can predict whether we're going to have delays or not with the help of AI. But to do that, we need lots of data, based on, like the behavior, or the contractor itself, whether they really want to finish the project. Also in terms of data sources for manpower and all that, and so on. So we can use that AI to help us. When people hear AI, I think the biggest concern for us is our job. How our job? Are we going to be replaced? I think that's people that we are concerned about that at the moment, right? But for us in the built environment, AI should be something else. It is a tool that serves people, culture, and sustainability. Okay, to humanize AI means we keep humans, us, we are the practitioners at the center. So AI should be as an assistant, like Dato mentioned before, as a tool. Okay, so we need, use AI as a UI assistant. Okay, I think Mr. Mu presented that. I think the new architect version, they have now like visual AI assistant in the model. So like Mr. Mu just pusat data, right, Sabajaya. So with the AI in the architect, you can ask, like you prompt in the chat GPT, they say, like how, what equipment there, like genset, how many gensets in the model, you can ask directly. So the virtual assistant indicator will give you the answer. So you don't have to count it by yourself, or you don't need to go to the schedules to look at it. So it's more like you have a virtual assistant. Okay, I think that's embedded in the ArchiCAD since 2007, I think. Okay, so I know because I'm studying all the software. So we need to do that. We need to recommend to the government in terms of what the available technology now. Okay, so what is our existing effort in AI? For JK, we have iDistribution 2.0. I don't know whether you know about it or not, but we have won award for this in Geneva. So this iDistribution system is an advanced construction monitoring platform co-owned by Ofotech and Jabatan Kerja. We work with vendor. So it consolidates real-time data from multiple construction sites into a centralized cloud-based platform, live CCTV feeds, and IoT sensors. So this system provides a comprehensive view of site activities with the ability to monitor multiple sites simultaneously. Okay, iDistribution offers actionable insights through automated data consolidation and AI-driven analysis. This streamlines project management, ensuring on-time completion and adherence to safety regulations. With this effort, we are taking small but meaningful steps. iDistribution flags delays or safety risks automatically. This is what we want. Okay, so it will help us to identify delays. We continuously putting effort in integrating AI with BIM, not only for clash detection, but also for predicting risk of delay or cost overruns. And we are starting early experiment with digital twin for government projects with this eye supervision. So these applications are not just about efficiency, they bring real benefits. Safer sites, less waste, and ultimately better outcome for the Raya, the people we serve. Because for the government project, we are dealing with taxpayer money. So we need to make it, we need to spend what we are planning for, right? Without any wastage. So this is so for the next effort, particularly in AI, particularly for JK Architects, now we are looking at how AI can generate layouts, optimized for comfort and energy. So this is where we are. We are looking now for this. In sustainability, AI also can analyze building performance and carbon footprint. In life cycle management, AI with BIM can track buildings from design to operations to recycling, aligning with our project objective and also clients' needs. Just for your information, we just got approval for the next our AI initiative in interior design workflow. Okay, we align with IME, so using ArchiCAD. So we just got approval for this. We're hoping that with this AI helping in ID will help particularly interior designers to come up with concepts, within seconds. I don't know, maybe minutes, not seconds, minutes. But you need to learn how to prompt it. Like image up there. Now we just provide the basic modeling, and then when we learn about prompting, and we can get the desired results. Yeah. So in terms of at the federal level, okay. Recently, under Malaysian Plan 13 Malaysian Plan, government has announced the AI Technology Action Plan 2023. So this plan will be covered from 26 until 2030. Okay. So it set the direction for AI in healthcare, education, economy, and yes, in construction. It shows that the federal government is committed to build a trusted, inclusive, and innovation drive AI ecosystem. For this JKR, it can be a challenge and also an opportunity for us, meaning that we must adopt AI to deliver better and more sustainable public projects. This means that JKR role is not just technical. We must deliver efficiency in public project, meet sustainability targets, and build digital governance into how we manage infrastructure. So with that, at this moment, we need to give feedback to the government, all ministries, what kind of training that we need to look for our staff. So that's we are at the moment. And then now, now we need to always give feedback to the governments in terms of training, also initiative that we can suggest to be done in AI. It's not also for Ministry of Works, also involves throughout all ministries. So we are now preparing for this, the National AI Action Plan. So it's good also to have this. When I heard about Dato presenting there, I think sometimes we are trying to overlook in terms of as a human being, how we interact with AI. Okay, are we rely too much on AI? In that sense, are we becoming lazy or not? Right? I think there's a study shown that how we use AI will determine how we think. So the best way, the experts suggested that before you use, like ChatGPT is common one, right? So before you use, actually you need to do some thinking, and then you ask. Don't just simply ChatGPT do it for you. So you need to do the homework first. Okay. So I think it should be 2 minutes, right? So my slide is 10 minutes actually. Okay. To close, let me share this thought. Technology may be the engine, but human values are the steering wheel. AI can make our work faster and smarter, but only we can ensure it's humanized, grounded in culture and sustainability. Okay, with that, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillah. Terima kasih Arkitek Aidzil. Thank you for letting us with our efforts in utilizing AI in the project all over Malaysia, benefiting the people, the rakyat, and also JKR definitely just kepada rakyat. So and now for the Q&A session, I would like to call upon Dato, Mr. Mo and Aidzil to the stage for our Q&A session. Silakan, Dato. Okay, now we are open for question and answers from the floor. We have delegates from City University, the Red Brigade. Welcome to USIM. So, any question from the floor? If not, let me start off with Dato Hajeedar, our warga platinum. So, Dato, since you are quite been the architectural education, so in your opinion, what ethical, social, and technical challenges should be considered when adopting AI in architectural education? So, your thoughts on this, Dato?
I have to somehow refer back to the traditional way of training architects. And then from there, cover where we are today. Yeah? Especially in the context of the Malaysian architectural training program. As you mentioned, quite apart from practice and institutional work, I have been involved in the various colleges and schools of architecture, and I've seen it, in comparison to the other schools that I'm familiar with, having visited other schools or attended other schools. I am of the opinion that irrespective of whichever school that you attend, it's not the school that produces the architects, or the professionals. It's not the school. Actually, it's the individual who attends that particular school. I've posed these questions many times to students, especially, and to some of their lecturers, as to where various established architects were trained. And of course, it's not necessary that they came from the Ivy League schools in the US or schools of architecture, the AA, or other schools of architecture that is famous. But actually, it is always the architect. Yeah? So the important thing is that So back to your question, as where do we go from here? So we have to move on from here, you know. In other words, just know and remember the past, the journey from the past that brought us to this level and this state of. So this is why I have voiced my opinion in respect of architectural training and education to a point that you have to be realistic. Because once upon a time, for example, the training of architect takes a long time, you know, academically 5 years at college and 2 years in practical before you offer yourself to be examined, to be given the license to practice. So a total of 7 years before you can call yourself an architect in practice and try to earn something, either as a salary earning architect or starting your own practice. And then there are other obligations that you have to. So the first thing is the training. So the training, for example, I have just reflected, not done very detailed study, I just reflected on the fact that with today's technology of AI especially, you could self-educate and just be attached to a university, for example, you know, because what you can learn on your own may be more than what you can from the various college schools that you attend. With due respect, I know a few lecturers too, and I think the students may know more than the lecturers. So there is this what do you call confronting positions with regard to education. So if we really want to look into the future, forget about the accreditation criteria and what we practice today. Very often, we are reluctant to change. You know, we are comfortable in the way we are, and that's it. You either comply or you're not in it. And I think it's a running battle between us. I've attended recent forum at what do you call Toffee, where Dr. Tan Lokman, Mau, is it?
MUR.
Mau lagi. You know? So the Malaysian architects, I don't know what the initials mean, but where we express the need to review our educational system and training in the context of nation building. You know, Malaysia likes to think that it is in the forefront for the technology and exposure and things like that. Yes, in a way we are, but sometimes we are hindered by the fact that we have this very established archaic system where if you don't comply, you don't qualify. So, and I am against it simply because sometimes we have to review our compliance system, you know, since I'm addressing students, because most of you come in here with financial commitment, i.e. scholarships or funds borrowed from the PTPTN, and there's all sorts of overtures being said to the population that, oh, you vote for us, you get the PTPTN wiped out, education is free, but in reality it's not, and so it's dragging. So you are indebted long before you qualify to work. So this is my concern is not just producing architects, but meaningful architects. And I've said on various other occasions where candidates have been trained in architecture, and then upon qualification, they found much more useful employment elsewhere, not as architects, but doing other things. I know one that became a butcher, and then another who became owner of a what do you call a gym, you know, and she can earn more at a gym. And then later I was told my award-winning student from one particular university. So I said, "Where are you working?" Now he says, "No, I'm a freelance photographer." You know, after spending 5 years in academic field, and you become just a photographer. You should have just developed your interest in photography much earlier, and you could have been earning a lot more, and you don't have to pay your loan. I mean, this is the reality. Eh? So I don't know whether it's the right forum to speak, but I think it is. Personally, I feel you guys and girls who are here, you have to reflect. What do you want to be? Because even the profession of architecture, you know, of architects, not all. I've given my own rating and percentage of the need for architecture, because it somehow does not tally with our own national. I'm criticizing the government actually, because I was in the government, so I know. So but you see, with government is that you have to say it. And of course they hate you for saying it, but later they will reflect on it, and maybe they see that it might be some truth in what someone says. Okay? So this is what I am trying to address this issue at a national level, in the sense that when you do architecture cruises or courses, it doesn't mean that you become an architect. If 20 to 30% of you become a registered architect to practice, alhamdulillah. The rest can look into the other supporting professionals, you know, services, because you need only one submitting person actually. The rest are just working architects. And this is why you have seen models and classic examples where a non-architect, non-registered architect is running and owning the biggest practice in the country, for example, you know. So, and they are real, and it works. We argued it out. And then we have a system guided by the Architects Act with ethical values, mandatory scales of fees, which a lot do not abide by, and other issues, you know, integrity issues, you know, where supplanting of fellow architects. So issues like that only fester when people are desperate, you know. So I do not know. I think I've just gone off your thing, but my concern is for the profession.
Yeah.
Because if I'm addressing the students, ask yourself, do you really want to be an architect like me? You know, what type of architect do you want to be? Or you want to be the photographer architect or the videographer architect? Pam engages a few of them, you know.
Salam, you mean? You can speak so.
Salam and others. Yeah.
Okay, Dato, there's a question actually from Dr. Zaki from UPM, my former colleague.
Assalamualaikum Dato. It's good to see you and my former colleague Meor, lari daripada UPM. Okay. So I'm chasing him. Okay, tak adalah. I think you hit you hit it on the nail when you talk about the decadence of the compliance system. Okay, because I've been always using this word to try to illustrate what is happening, and Meor has been hearing it again and again. It's about reductionism. It's about the whole education system now is at a juncture, as a simpang part, di persimpangan. We are at a systemic crisis because the way our education system now is actually what we are doing. We are producing AI-like graduates, but with less efficiency. Okay, when I say it is reductionism, we are putting mechanistic scientific materialism style in our education. For example, OBE, compliance system, MQA. All these are very mechanistic in the name of efficiency, and the word of efficiency has been tainted actually by capitalism. Okay, so what we have now is the dehumanizing aspect of architecture. And then when you said that the actual ingredient is the architect in a school, he is a human, he is whole. He shouldn't be reduced to compliance point. So when we are in a system bent on reducing, on dehumanizing that, a particular architect with his style cannot survive in current education system. So I think if we have to rethink, if what we are doing very mechanistic, very efficient in the name of, in the vision of capitalist, objective, we are producing graduates who can be bested by AI. AI can do better than what they are doing. But the humanistic aspect, if you already dehumanize the architects in an education system in such way, then you have no edge over the AI. So I think it is a systemic crisis that we all need to think. If Dato, at your position, if you can say something about our education, if we read all the literature review, about architectural education all over the world, OBE is one of the prime suspect of this degradation of creativity and humanities in education. So that's I think I want to reiterate. I want to thank you for bringing that up, coming from the old school pre-modern, pre-mechanistic education. That's what we lost. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Zaki. You've been saying that to me all this time while I was at UPM. So I think we have another question on the floor.
This is less of a question, more a statement. Okay, my name is Dato Professor Ian Davis, or Hajeedar. Amongst other things, on the design side, I basically led the design team for the design and fit out of the Twin Towers and KLIA and various other things. Simultaneously, I was also the advisor to the government, to 3 different governments for design and innovation. And when there was a change of government in 2018, Tun Dr. Mahathir asked the question at Cabinet, why is it that we're employing so many foreign architects? I need to understand what's wrong. So I was leading a small consulting team to basically go and do the work to find out. And we ran 3 workshops, which were very interesting in terms of the outcome. So the first group were practitioners, basically the bosses of all the top, let's say 25, 30 architects firms. And we said, what is the problem in terms of our education system? And the message was very simple. Number 1, total lack of critical thinking. Everyone just lazily just cuts and pastes. Number 2, very poor communication skills, whether it's in Bahasa or English. We then did asked the same question of the academics the following week, about 40 people in the room. And the key thing that came out of that was them saying, all we care about is achieving our KPIs. So I naively said, why? So I said, it's the way we're paid. So the third session, we put everyone together and I told them this story. So a year or 2 before, I was doing this project for MOSTI and presenting to the minister and basically proposing what we needed to do to actually fix the education system, particularly with regard to design. I used to teach at the Royal College of Art part-time for 10 years. So I had some insight into what needed to be done. And what came out of the session, first of all, the minister, was that in fact, he basically, we sort of put up a league table and said, Malaysia is not in the top 20 in terms of creativity. So the minister basically said, I need to know more about this. I'm not interested in what you're presenting. I want you to find out more. So we went down to Singapore. This is what we found out. In 2005, the Deputy Prime Minister of Singapore was actually writing the economic plan for the future of Singapore and said, there will be no manufacturing in Singapore very soon. The future of our state is going to be healthcare, education, and creativity. And a group of young academics got to the Prime Minister about a year later and said, sir, with respect, our education system is broken. Now, at that moment in time, Singapore scored top 5 in STEM subjects across the world. So the Prime Minister said, so what are we doing? They said, you rethink the whole syllabus. You completely rethink the way that you actually teach architecture, industrial design, product design, etc. And they put it into place, and part of when they set up the new national university, the 4th National University, they changed the way that they actually did it. Now, I came back to Malaysia very excited about what we needed to do. And I went to see the Deputy Prime Minister, who was Minister of Education, Tan Sri Midin, and basically said, this is amazing, we have to do this. And he said, okay, I'll listen. Let's go down to Singapore together and have a look. I'll organize an official visit. I said, no, if you do that, it's all going to be official meetings. You must talk to these people on the ground. He said, okay, we'll do it. Sadly, 1 month later, he made a speech which actually said, Najib, the Prime Minister, should explain why he has 620 million ringgit Malaysia, US dollars, he said, in his personal bank account. He got fired, that whole project got killed. All right, honestly true. So my basic message is, our education system's broken. All the papers I've been involved with at senior level, really, the papers have just gone in and nothing has been done. Whichever government is actually in power. But it has to start with everyone in this room. It really does. If we're going to change particularly the education system as far as architecture is concerned, we've actually got to recognize that, in fact, continuation of the status quo cannot continue. So I'll just wrap up with just one other thing. I wear 2 hats. In addition to design, I'm also a co-founder of a company called City Sage, which is the leader in terms of using AI for urban planning. And I was at a meeting 10 days ago for PAM in Johor, specifically actually looking at data centers. And one of my business partners, when he did his speech, his words started off with 3 times he said, the final decision maker will always be a human. It cannot be a computer. And that really needs to be the mantra for today, all right? Everything needs to be set up in such a way that always all of us as humans make the final decision. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the insight. Is now also gentleman at the back. Question? Yeah.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Ahmad Nazri. I met Dato about 20 years ago in Bangsa. I hope you remember me. I'm a practice architect, freelance, jumping firm to firm at 62. Okay. Next month I'm going to Riyadh. Just finish off 4 data centers submissions in JB. So running on compliance again. Okay, I just want to touch a little bit how we educate architectural students. Like Dato say, yes, the old school type is the best. Philosophically, you have to find a niche for each student, how to draw like an artist, and find his own niche. Whether he can survive that niche of design or the flare that they design can go to the world or not. It's not a matter of to comply, how to do shadows and all those kind of things. You understand or not? This is what we need. The thinking process, the design process, that is very important. Same like AI, they have a design process. They have a thought process, but they don't have a philosophy process. That's what we need. That we must grow. Yes, it is a tool. We must go against students to use those tools. At least the last 4 years or last 3 years, don't use at all. Okay? Go back to the basic. Then when they go out the world, you review the student, whether they can succeed outside the world or not. That is my view of how students can be achievable in the outside world, because there's so many architects in the world right now, whether they are AR or not, but they don't have their own niche. They don't have their own flares. Certain company, Hajeedar has his own flare. Kenyang has his own flare. Adzahar has his own flare. Bernard Shumi has his own flare. All those people, you can look their own niche of designs. That's what we're looking for. We don't need all these little things. It's only a tool that we can enhance our design. That's all. Enhance. I agree, we need BIM because we cannot tag every door the same time, the wall every time, every single thing tagging. No. But at the end, BIM is needed for as built and for the maintaining of the building. If you don't tag everything, you don't have it last long more than 50 years. Simple as that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, from student, any question? Yes, from Dato's nephew. You want to answer, Dato?
Assalamualaikum. My name is Azzam. I'm an interior designer. Okay, recently for the datum, I attended the opening forum where architect Chris Yap and the son gave a brief overview about AI, using AI in the industry. So, of course, from where I came from, I started with pencil and paper as well. And then, it evolved. So through my experience working, 3D visual comes in, and then, you start to, instead of mastering your 3D sketches, now you have to master how to do it in a computer. Otherwise, you cannot move. It will be, yes, you can move, but it's another tool that makes it faster. So I was just thinking when they were promoting AI onto, we can just tell the AI to design something, tell the AI. So, but these are all data that you have to give this AI. For instance, like ChatGPT is free for now, so we are using it. Sometimes I'm sad, but I talk to my ChatGPT, in the morning driving to work. So what are you up to now today? So I will say, I'm heading towards Seremban. I've got a site inspection to do. So ChatGPT collects all this data. So the next meeting when I say that I'm going to Batu Pahat, she would just have a slight conversation saying that, how was your meeting in Seremban before? So these are all the artificial intelligence. So they are trying to be human to entertain us, so that we have that. We tend to think that this is not computer. This is another human that I'm talking to. But it's all built out of data. You have to feed them all this data. So I came to a point where one day this when the data is huge enough, like we are saying, will it replace us humans? For instance, like ChatGPT. I mean, I've discovered ChatGPT couple of months ago. So I was quite fascinated with it because, as simple as I were to ask, sometimes in my project, there were some M&E issues on aircon and, is the duct too big? How can I put it above my ceiling so that it don't go below my ceiling level, those kind of things. So the information that I told this computer, my phone, was, can you give me a size that will fit my space above my ceiling with this beam this low and my ceiling height this. So this ChatGPT actually came out with, oh, you need to design a duct that is so and so big that travel this will cool this particular area. You see, as simple as that, it will give you the solution. So now, instead of I ask my engineer, I just ask my ChatGPT. So, I mean, this come to a point where if I am the consultant, the client, I'll just say that I need this room big enough to fit 200 people. What kind of aircon do I need? What kind of size? And so I will just skip the consultant and probably go to the maker of the duct. Yeah, I need this to travel here to cool this amount of area. So that I have skipped that part where the consultant used to advise us, okay, you need that room to be cool at a certain temperature, at a certain time, you have to have this. So will there be this thing where we don't need that service anymore? We go straight to the maker and the supplier, we skip, So the client bit is cleverer now. It's not like before, The client now they travel the world and they see a lot of things, so they know what we like. I'm not an engineer, but I know this duct is too big. I need to make it smaller to fit in a certain area. So I still think there is that danger. I mean, not danger, that how can we maintain us as human, but playing the role as a human, but using this AI as a tool, but still not forgetting that this tool needs somebody to wield it, to hold it. So like Mr. Mu, your program, the software that you're using, I see that it is very you can have it from A to B, from the foundation, from the site, right up to the detail of the lights fittings, everything can be counted and everything. So to me, only one person can handle this thing, but as long as you know how to handle it, you at the end of the day, you will know how many lights with what voltage to brighten up the whole room. Only one person. So this is when we have to know that we still need human, but will it eliminate these people who supposed to do this job for you? So yeah, I mean,
Me?
anyone.
Okay. You mentioned my name inside. The guilty one. I'm the guilty one.
I'm quite fascinated with your product.
Thank you so much. Okay. It's a great question.